denominator. Or remove the radical from the denominator. To do this, we multiply the expression by a form of 1. Because if I multiply by 1, that means I'm not changing the expression. In monomials, this is usually the radical found in the denominator. Okay, so what would be my form of 1 to multiply to get rid of that radical at the bottom? Because having radicals at the bottom is a big no-no. So how could I get rid of the radical at the bottom? Square it, yes. So I can't just square the whole thing because there's no, although it has an equal sign right here, this is an expression. There's not something on either side, right? This is an expression, so I can't just square it because you're changing the question. So the only thing I can do is multiply by 1. You see I'm not changing it? So what would the form of 1 be in order to square root 5? What would be the form of 1 in order to square root 5? Now let's just square root 5. How do I do that? Multiply it by root 5. I can't just do that. So what do I do to the top then? Multiply it by root 5. Do you see this is a form of 1? Root 5 over root 5. I haven't changed anything. So what do I get? I get 25 root 5 on top. And what do I get in the bottom? What's root 5 times root 5? 5. And then does everybody see I can actually simplify 25 over 5? And I get 5 root 5 as my final answer. Okay. Example number 2 has a whole bunch of radicals. We don't care about the top radicals. We just can't have a radical in the denominator. So what should we multiply the form of 1 by? Okay, so I hear 3 root 2. You could do 3 root 2, but you don't need to do the 3. It's only the root 2 that's the glitch in this problem, right? So, root 2 over root 2. Okay, because I don't want this as in the denominator. 3 is okay. Root 2 is not okay. Okay? So, what's root 6 minus root 5 times root 2? Huh? What do I get on top? Whoa, 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 whoa. What's root 6 times root 2? Root 12. Subtract, what do we get there? Root 10 all over. What's 3 root 2 times root 2? 6. But I'm just going to say 3 times 2 for right now, just to show my work, right? My steps. Does everybody see this can be simplified right here? What can be pulled out of a root 12? 4. So 4 comes out and I get 2 root 3 subtract root 10 divided by 6. Does everybody see that? Can I simplify anything more here? I hear a yes. Can you go like this? Bam! Can you do that? No, you cannot. You cannot. Okay. When there is a radical in the bottom, we multiply by something called a... Oh, sorry, I apologize. This is supposed to be binomial. When there's a binomial in the bottom, we multiply by something called a conjugate. To rationalize the denominator. A conjugate is identical to the denominator, except the sign in the middle is the opposite. I'll tell you what a conjugate is in a second once we do an example. This gives us a difference of squares in the denominator that will eliminate both radicals, those middle terms. They will eliminate once we apply multiplication. I think that's what I meant. Multiplication to both the top and the bottom. Okay, so now let's do an example here. So does everybody see there's a radical in the bottom? There's actually two. It's a binomial. So can anybody tell me what the conjugate is? Remember, the conjugate is exactly the same except that the sign in the middle is the opposite. So who can tell me what the conjugate is here? Anybody? Throw it out there. It's not root 3. Sorry? 3 root 2 plus root 3. So my instructions were the conjugate is exactly the same as the binomial except the opposite sign. So we're going to multiply by the conjugate in a form of 1. So this is going to be 3 root 2 plus root 3 over 3 root 2 plus 3. Does everybody agree? That is a form of 1. I haven't altered the question. Yes, plus root 3. Otherwise it wouldn't be a form of 1. Thank you. Okay, let's multiply the top. Does everybody see? Multiply the top. Go to both. What do we get? 9 root 2 plus 3 root 3. And on the bottom, what do we get? Do you see it's a binomial times a binomial? What is the kind of acronym we use to do that? FOIL. So we're going to do the first. What do we get for the first? We should not be doing root 4. We should be doing directly, as soon as we see root 2 times root 2, it's 2, right? So 9 times 2, 18. Okay, outer, we get 3 root 6 with a plus, and inner, we get minus 3 root 6. Do you see? The outer and the inner will cancel. That's the whole point of the conjugate. Then we do last, we get minus 3. So what's my answer? 9 root 2 plus 3 root 3 over 15. Can I reduce this? You can divide everything by 3, and it's a legit move here. So what do we get on top? 3 root 2 plus root 3, divide by 5. That would be my final answer. Very good. Okay, do you guys want to try the next one yourself? Okay, go. Okay, so the conjugate is root 5 subtract root 2, the same as that opposite sign. So it's going to be root 5 minus root 2, root 5 minus root 2 equals 5 root 5 for the first. Outer. So it's going to be minus 5 root 2. Inner gives me minus root 10. And last gives me plus 2. Over. First I get 5. The outer and the inner will cancel if I do these right. And last I get minus 2. So my final answer would be 5 root 5 minus 5 root 2, subtract root 10, plus 2 all over 3. Yay. Okay, next one. The conjugate is going to be root 6 plus root 10. Root 6 plus root 10 over root 6 plus root 10. There's my form of 1, right? Okay, so first I get root 12. Outer I get plus root 20. inner I get plus 2 root 30. And last I get root 50. On the bottom, first I get 6. Outer and inner should cancel. Last I get minus 10. Okay, so you gotta look, always be on the look. This whole entire unit, you have to simplify, even if it doesn't say, mind you, it does say simplify. So, what do I have here with the root 12?
4.
This is a 4 times 3. What's root 20? This is a 4 times 5. Root 30, can that simplify?
No.
No, root 50.
Yeah.
25 times 2. Okay, so now that I wrote that, I am going to now keep going. So, 4 comes out, I get 2 root 3. 4 comes out, I get 2 root 5. Can't do anything with that, so plus 2 root 30. Plus 10 root 2, very good. And then over here I have a minus 4. Now how many people thought that was their final answer? No, you can simplify this more. What goes into both the top and the bottom? 2. So you get root 3 plus root 5 plus root 30 plus 5 root 2 all over minus 2. Did everybody get that?